everyone, and welcome to Dangerous Fly Fishing, episode number 80. I am still your guest host, Ross Lyskoka, sitting here with Mr. Jim Carney. How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing quite well, thank you.
Wonderful. And over on the other side of the table, we've got Mr. Matt Carney.
Hello, listeners and viewers. It's great to be with you again.
You don't look like it's great to be here, buddy. That knee's bothering you, huh?
It is. It's getting better every day, although some days it's worse, because like 3 days ago, it was actually worse than I heard it back in February. But for some reason, I had a quick turnaround, so I'm kind of hobbling around with my special German knee brace.
Yeah, imported.
Yeah. The instructions are in German, but it does a great job supporting my knee.
That's fantastic. Like, German instructions
In America.
For a knee brace.
For a knee brace, yeah.
Like,
wow.
That's a quality knee brace.
God bless Amazon. I was Googling like best knee braces for meniscus and ligament tears, and this company was basically on every single list. So I said, all right, well, that seems to be a common through line, so I'm going to go with that one.
Just make sure you do the oil changes and everything, because German maintenance is a pain.
No oil. The laterals or the vertical supports are hard plastic.
Interesting.
They flex enough with my knee, but they also provide some rigidity and stability.
Handy to know.
Yeah. So no oiling required. I am not the Tin Man.
I was talking more about the German knee brace. Those Germans love their maintenance schedules.
Well, they're kind of well known for over-engineering things and making it way more complicated than it has to be, and hence they lost World War II.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part. That and in their defense, I've worked on a lot of German cars, and if you follow what they say to do, they run like a top.
Well, I think the difference with World War II and German cars is they were being shot at. So it wasn't just like, their tanks may have run forever mechanically, but, getting shot tends to cause damage, which causes issues.
Yeah, well, that and if anybody takes anything away from this episode, never buy a Porsche transmission. That's what was in all the tanks that would just randomly lose gears on the battlefield.
Okay. Well, I know for the Americans, the Patton tank, while very inexpensively made, we were, I believe, literally able to basically get a damaged Patton tank back on the battlefield within like 8 to 12 hours.
Yeah.
And that's why we won the war. Meanwhile, they had to ship their tanks the whole way back to Germany to get repaired.
Well, yeah, it's got to go back to the factory. That's appropriate German maintenance.
Yeah, well, for us, we had tow trucks and everything else to basically lift the body off, replace engines. Yeah, it was like a NASCAR pit crew out in the middle of a battlefield. Well, after the battle, obviously, but...
Right. Well, I never knew how many Cadillac engines were in, like, Sherman tanks. I love the fact that, like, when I think of a Cadillac engine, I think of, like, grandma's car, when in reality, it's just, like, rolling across Europe.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's basically what happened is the big three basically said, hey, we're here to help America fight them Nazis. So literally like all three of the American major, well, at that point, I think it was more than three major American automakers basically all threw into the war effort, and they were making tanks, and I think, Ford was making airplanes, so.
Yeah, there was, Packard, Olds.
Buick was a big manufacturer of tanks, and of course, Willys Jeep was...
Right.
Invented in Butler, PA. Yep.
Yeah, there is so much stuff from Pennsylvania that I never realized, and even more, like, you bring that up, invented in, like, literally Butler, like, you can damn near hit it with a baseball from right here.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's just one of those things that, like, Pennsylvania's kind of been here for so long that everybody just kind of, I don't want to say passes over it, but it's like, it's Pennsylvania, it's the standard. And when you look through literally any point in history, from like making sewing machines to fly fishing to like random heavy machinery, it's like, it probably started in Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Well, I mean, in fairness, in today's modern day and age, to the people on the coast, we probably are defined as flyover country, which is a shame. We're also part of Appalachia, so that's why we have the nickname Pennsyltucky, because Pittsburgh is the Paris of Appalachia.
It absolutely is. Smells about the same too, from what I Oh God,
I've never been to Paris. I don't have a frame of reference.
Yeah. I don't intend to go.
Nor do I.
Yeah.
Although it was a couple months ago. They were fishing. It was the Folding Mill put on the fly fishing world championships.
Oh, okay.
They were following their premier tire, who's also the captain of the England team, I guess.
That's primarily stillwater fishing, correct?
No, that's
this one was
fly fishing, and it was.
Well, no, I know, but fly fishing stillwater is very big in England.
Yes.
Where they run like 8 nymph rigs.
well
But this was not.
Okay.
No, the one that I watched anyways was they did it in, I can't remember what they called them, but it was basically you got 100 yards of stream and or lake to fish.
What do they call those?
Like sticks or something.
No, it's
It's like plots or something. It's a term for you get this space to fish in.
Yeah.
But then it was like a 3-day thing. You fished this one this day, and it was
right.
really technical stream.
I'm assuming it was like based off of like a draw system.
I believe so.
Yeah, I don't know how they get drawn, but a few years ago they held the World Championships up on Fishing Creek.
See, another great thing from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, there you go.
And this, it's not called a beat. It's
a beat. Yes,
that's what it was. And this one beat up there, a French girl who was a teenager. They never did say 14 or 18, but there's a beat that she had up on Fishing Creek, and I think she caught like 32 fish in this stretch on Fishing Creek. Now.
Wow.
And I fished it, and I think I caught 3.
She is clearly a better fisherwoman than you are a fisherman.
Yes, and I was quite humbled by that.
Well, yeah, that's your native water too.
Yeah.
So that's very embarrassing.
Yep.
In fairness, she was probably urine nymphing, which doesn't count.
True.
Yeah,
But
I don't know which she was, and she didn't even win. She wasn't even the best fish catcher of the day.
wow,
And it was the youth team. It was not the main country. This was the youth team.
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You can't be mad about that.
Yeah, and
I mean,
like I've only fished this beat 2 or 3 times, but it's just humbled me every time I fished it. And they were talking about the first riffle she was in. She caught like a dozen.
Wow.
And I have yet to catch one in that riffle. So I don't know.
you got to wonder if they actually like stock before the World Championship.
Well, they don't stock Fishing Creek at all.
Well,
for the
they do
World
down-
Championship,
they do down
they
in
might.
Millhall.
They might for the World Championship.
They do down in Millhall.
Oh, they do stock in Millhall. Yeah. Did you see the photos that Mr. Brungard posted the other day?
Who's Mr. Brungard?
John, who used to fish behind camp all the time.
His name sounds familiar. I'm sure I've met him.
We
but I just
haven't
can't-
seen
I
him
can't
since
picture him.
we posted the property because he doesn't like to fish posted property. He caught 5 fish over 20 inches in downtown Millhall.
Wow.
Now, they do stock there,
Still though,
but he said that's the best day he's had there in years. And that's
Well-
the first time he's fished it in 15 years.
Well, I think Ross and I think it was you that was with me, Ross, where the one stretch has like a huge hole where I literally saw trout so big I thought they were carp.
that it's if I remember correctly, there's that
by the- it's
brick
like-
wall.
I think it's a log wall, but yeah.
Yeah, yes,
Is it underneath the bridge, or the highway bridge?
it's right. It's very close to that.
Yeah. I've seen some monstrous trout in there myself.
Yeah, and it's that real big sweeping slow pool.
Yep.
I thought there's some sort of retaining wall.
Yeah, I think it's log because most of that stretch has like those log walls built.
Yeah, but no, we were. I remember that because you were trying to fish through there, and I ended up just like climbing up that wall just to kind of see, what was down there. And he's not kidding. There's some carp-sized trout in that hole, and they are picky.
Well, the hole's very deep, and it's hard to fish. At least,
Oh, yeah.
when a
I
couple
know.
times I've been there, it's been hard to fish.
I know because I tried for a while for those
Yeah.
monsters. But that being said, I also have seen carp in Fishing Creek up behind camp.
Yeah, I have a couple.
I actually caught one up there.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Off a grasshopper, of all things.
Oh my!
That's a.
Yeah, I know.
They're usually bottom feeders.
I'm aware. I was kind of shocked because I don't know whether it was eating berries coming off the tree.
Now, that's something I read about up at Shenango Dam, is that they talked about that's one way, mulberry flies.
Yeah.
And they
Okay.
float on the top, and the damn carp come up and eat them off
Yeah.
the top.
And that's I think it was eating berries underneath the
Yeah.
one tree at camp,
Yeah.
and I thought it was a trout eating flies.
Uh-huh.
So I had a grasshopper on, so I just flipped the grasshopper up there, and sure enough, wham!
Yeah, I mean,
Darn.
it might.
They're big fish. I mean, they put
Well,
up
the
a
one
hell
I
of a
caught
fight.
was probably only like 20 inches or so.
Yeah, only. Only.
Well, I mean,
that's still a nice fish.
For carp, that's not a big carp.
Right. It's not like you're setting a record with
Yeah.
it, but still, I mean, those things are muscly.
Oh yeah. I mean, most fish that live in running water tend to be more muscular, I think.
Yeah.
No, I think it's backwards. I think lakes are more muscular than
I don't know.
rivers, because they have to propel themselves in a lake, whereas a river they can literally just hide and gobble gobble gobble.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never thought of it like that.
Yeah, I think lake fish are more muscular than.
Well, I know there was an article several years ago up in the Sharon Herald, and the guy who wrote the article belongs to TU now, but he called them the bonefish of Western Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I've actually heard that before.
Yeah, and because you sight fish for them, as you very much do for bonefish. And he said it was quite interesting sport in the summertime when the water's down. You can see them all over the place, and you can see the mud trails they make. And he proclaimed that it was great summer fishing. And I kind of wanted to wander up there once in a while, but I just never got around to it.
Yeah, Matt and I have been talking for a while now about, every time we see a carp float by, it's like, man, we got to, learn how to catch a carp on a fly rod. And because that would be, especially most of the places we go muskie fishing, there's carp everywhere.
Yeah.
And that would be pretty fun to, bring a 12 weight, bring along an 8 weight. You see a carp, throw a couple at it. If you get something great, if not, go back to the toothies.
Well, some of those carp are in the 40 and 50 pound range.
Oh yeah, they're chunks, because the one hole where Marv the muskie lives on a local body of water. He's the muskie that literally just followed us down when we were going down through on the raft. He literally just swam like 5 feet off the side of the raft, just staring at us the whole way as we floated through. But that hole where
he's a nice guy.
Yeah, that hole where he lives, there's probably state record carp in there, because they look like the fish in there look like they belong in the ocean.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
They're so
huge.
big.
Yeah.
Especially that pool that he lives in. It's just it's perfect for any fish really that's looking to eat something. It all flows right into there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's at a confluence of two bodies of water.
It is.
Oh, wow.
With lots of tree structure for the toothies, and apparently lots of good stuff for carp.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Well, that and but I'm sure it was pretty popular for trout when there was still a whole lot of trout in that river. Because I mean, like you said, it's just like a confluence of all kinds of bodies of water. So like any fly is just going to float literally right there in almost whirlpool.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
It's beautiful, but
Yeah, very shocking. But yeah, the one thing I will say I heard about carp is carp will put you into your backing rather easily when you catch them.
I did not realize that they ran that much.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I hooked one. I just got married, so it was 50 years ago plus. I went out to Raccoon State Park because I'd heard they'd stocked in Raccoon Creek. And I went out to Raccoon Creek, and the first thing I saw were just gigantic carp. So I didn't think much it would be a trout stream. But I diligently worked my way down the creek, and, man, when I get up near the lake, I hooked one, and it just bolted, peeled all the line. I didn't have a disc drag reel on or anything, so when it came to the end of my line, we parted ways.
Oh, wow.
And it just went snap, and the fly line come flying back.
Well, I guess thank God the fly line.
Yeah, good Lord.
Yep. I've only had that feeling twice, and once was up in Erie when I hooked a steelhead, and it ran for the lake. And I was palming the reel because, again, I didn't have a drag reel at that time. And it parted ways, too. And my first thing when the fly line went out and I was into the backing, my first thought was, boy, I hope I tied that knot really well.
Gonna check out that that Albright knot.
Arbor.
Arbor's on the actual arbor. Albright is
Well,
the
that
back.
was on the actual arbor.
Oh, you were. Oh, you went the
He
whole
went
way.
that far.
Once it's in the backing,
It
the
was the
last
whole
knot on the
way.
reel is the arbor.
Yeah, it was the last part of my line attached to this fish. That was it.
No, I had thought he was just taking you into your backing, not all the way through your
All
backing.
the way through my. It was almost to Lake Erie when we finally parted ways.
That's
What's kind of crazy is you're like, oh, I didn't have a dragged reel back then, and meanwhile I'm over here buying non-dragged reels all the time.
which the ones you have are trout sized. In fairness, right now.
Yeah.
But like, he let me use that a couple of times, and I had almost no concept of what to do. Like I've fished with them very rarely, but even
The click and pause, you mean?
yeah, but even like trying to land like an 8 or 9 inch trout, it's like you have to sit there and make sure you don't clamp. 'Cause I'm real good at just hammering down on it so it doesn't move, and I forget that I'm in fact the drag, and
Yeah.
I don't apply a lot of drag. It's mostly an anchor.
I hurt my hand on that steelhead because I was
I'm sure.
trying to, and he was.
That's one time I wouldn't make fun of anybody for wearing a glove.
Yeah.
Like watching a steelhead run on a click and pull reel. Like
that prompted me to buy a drag reel.
Yeah.
At that point,
that's
Yeah.
it's not a big drag reel. I think it's only an 8-weight.
I mean, I know we talk about it a lot, like that reels are only fly line holders, but like especially with some of the like what's the gel spun?
Oh, the backing?
Yeah, it's so much thinner. Like you can even on an 8-weight, you can stack like I think with the gel spun, some of them are up to like 400 yards of backing now.
Wow.
And that's I mean, don't get me wrong, great for like bonefish, redfish, whatever, but like I can't imagine needing 400 yards of backing.
Well, I think I had 75 yards of backing and 100 feet. So that fish ran
for
quite
days.
a way. And there were guys fishing all up and down. It was on Walnut Creek.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, makes
There's
sense.
always a guy or two there, or 500.
Yeah, right at that inlet.
Well, that's where I was at, first or second pool.
There's a couple Russian guys just treble hooking them in the gills. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's one of the things that's different about freshwater fishing versus saltwater. Saltwater, the drag's way more important than it is in freshwater, and it's just like it's kind of crazy. Like thinking about saltwater, like because we talked before about how they fly fish for mako sharks, like out in California.
Yeah.
Like you're fighting a fish like 150 feet underwater. Like that's just a whole new concept.
Oh yeah.
Well, I had a fish break me off behind camp, and the reason was he ran up twice, jumped. I knew it was a big fish, so I had him on the reel, and he ran down by me, and I mean I lost all contact with him when he went by me. So I reeled the line in. I probably only had 5 or 10 feet out, and I still had him. And that bugger come up and was swimming right beside me. I mean, he was this long and this big, and he just swam right beside me, and then bolted upstream. And I only had 15 or 20 feet of line left, and well, he ran up and he jumped one time and it was gone.
Yeah.
I only had 5X tippet on it and he was gone. And then that guy 2 weeks later caught the fish behind camp.
Kept them.
28 inches and 7 pounds. Now, if that fish was wild, that was a crime to take that fish.
Oh yeah.
But if it had been stalked and had moved upstream, and they do stalk the bottom end, he could have moved up. But that would have been one hell of a wild fish, and it was sitting on the counter up at Uncle Joe's, box of ice, and a big sign up there where he caught it, right behind our camp, right behind our cabin.
There's been quite a few large fish taken behind camp.
Well, that's known as big trout water, and every article you ever read about it, that stretch from the big pool upstream down, because it has water year round. Where right above it, it goes dry.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I know my ex-wife caught like a 21-inch brook trout there.
Yeah.
Which is a monster for a
Absolutely.
brook trout.
Yes, yeah.
And then I caught that huge brown. We didn't have measuring implements at that time. Because like when she did it, I kind of did the 9-inch, and then we're plus another 3 or whatever. Because like I've measured here to here before. It's exactly 9 inches on my hands.
Which is handy.
At
Yeah,
one
it's very
point
handy.
in time, they said that our creek was the last best place to be able to catch a 16-inch plus brook trout.
Well, I mean, there was that one brown trout I hooked into behind camp that, thank God I was fishing with Ross, or that sucker might have put me, we would have found out how good my arbor knot was, because I was well into my backing and Ross went sprinting downstream to net him for me.
Yeah. He was big enough to, like you said, you had that 4-weight, didn't you? No,
I have
3-weight.
5-weight, but it was click and Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
it's like I was giving him the beans, and because I caught him up in the current or in the rapids above.
Yeah.
And then Ross ended up netting him like down at the end of our property.
Oh, it was further. Like it was probably
To the next riffle?
No, not quite
not
that far.
quite that far, but I was probably in the driveway of the house next to, if you were looking up at it.
Yeah.
Like he was.
Wow.
Yeah,
He
'cause
had just got out of the current and was getting ready to run through that pool. And
Yeah.
I don't even know how I got down there, to tell you the truth.
Wow.
Ross was sprinting.
Well, you won't get down there now. There's a big, huge tree across that path.
Yeah.
in the
Well,
lot.
Ross was sprinting, and basically, as soon as I hooked that sucker, he just went downstream right in the freaking rapid the whole way, followed the heavy current the whole way. And I'm sitting here like, yee, like trying to put the brakes on the click and pull. And I was like, shit. And it was like, like I probably maybe could have eventually landed it myself, but I definitely killed him.
Yeah, I mean, well, that is the one thing that I forgot how much I loved about the click and pull reels. Like when he set the hook on that fish and it just sings.
Yeah.
And you there's not many like sounds that make you feel better in the world. You know what I mean? It's like, starting up the Harley for the first time in the summer, like just, one of those sounds that just makes you smile.
Well, it's kind of a funny thing because on saltwater reels, that's actually one of the reviewed traits of the saltwater reel is how good the drag sounds.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like if you review like best reels for saltwater, like that's one of the ones is how the drag sounds.
Oh, wow.
If it sounds, good and has a good hearty, makes you feel confident that it's going, it gets like, that's one of the judging criteria.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense for saltwater.
Yeah, I didn't know that until like when I was buying the 12 weight reels because I was like, well, I used to do a fair amount of saltwater fishing, not as much anymore. I'm planning on going down in the next month or so, I think, but I used to do a lot of saltwater fishing, so I was kind of like, well, 12 weight, I'm tarpon, muskie, cool. I'm going to buy a reel that's going to for sure hold up into the saltwater.
Oh, yeah.
So that was like I started researching like best saltwater reels, and yeah, it's pretty much like I was shocked. Like the third criteria they judged the reels on or whatever was like the sound of the drag.
I'm curious about that because my drag reel, which is an 8 weight, I mean, there's no singing. I mean, and it's like a break on it all the time.
What reel do you have on?
It's a made by Cortland. It's a Imperial something. It's gold, and it was a pretty cheap reel. I think it was $120 or something like that.
How long ago did you get it?
Oh, years ago.
Okay,
pretty much years ago. But it was gold, and I can't remember the exact name. It works well. But there's no running. I mean, it just. Of course, I might have the drag set too tight.
You might, because so the Lamson centerfire that I bought, my 12 weight, it's actually like when you pull line out, it sounds like a click and pull pulling the line out, but it's a entirely dragged reel.
Yeah.
Well, I know, like with Cooper bought that Lamson liquid, and that's why I was asking you how long ago you got it because they put. It's only there to make a noise. Like there's just a plastic ring, and it's almost like the little Wheel of Fortune ticker. When it goes around, it hits a peg and just click, 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 click.
Oh, yeah.
And after looking at it a little bit, everybody that I could tell pretty much just said, yeah, it doesn't, like, it's not attached to your drag. It's not attached to anything else. It's just there to click because people like it. And you also...
Yeah. Makes you feel like you're fighting a big fish.
Yeah.
Well, that and it's an audible sound for
what weight says?
He got a 4 weight.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that's it was the reel he got for that new 8-footer.
The new forward weight.
But
the one we just popped the spool off, and that's apparently how they're designed.
Oh.
I can't remember the name of that device. I'll look it up during the break. But it's a legitimate technique. It's a legitimate thing.
Well, I mean, I kind of wonder, because I have conventional saltwater tackle also that I use for like catfish and stuff.
Yeah.
And like all of those reels, because you went the one time, they all have a clicker.
Right.
And I kind of wonder if that's not the same thing where it's just like a little plastic ring designed to maybe apply a little bit of drag when it's in free spool, but also click. I kind of wonder if it's a similar idea.
It sounds very. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a
noisemaker.
Yeah. Well,
it may be on a spinning rod or a bait casting rod. It may be there to prevent backlash or something.
No, it's 100% not.
Oh no.
No.
I mean, at some point, it does apply a little bit of mechanical resistance.
If it had so it wouldn't. The spool. Well, I know when I had a bait casting rod, I absolutely hated it because if you didn't thumb it, stopped, it would backlash.
Yeah.
And that's I have the big saltwater bait casters. Well, I think they're technically conventional. They're not true bait casters, because they're the big honking like 4-inch diameter spool ones that you see on saltwater rods because they are saltwater rods. you're looking.
I have no idea. I'm just like that's all been brain dumped long ago.
Well, you should know because you've casted it before.
I can't picture it. That's why I'm giving you a weird look right now.
Oh, you don't picture it. You don't remember throwing like the 8-ounce, 16-inch long musky dildos with it with the 12-foot rod?
I remember throwing those.
You just didn't pay attention to the reel?
I wasn't looking at the reel because I was, one, ducking when that thing was going over my head. And two, like, I was worried so much about timing it when it hit the water so I could thumb it.
Yeah.
That
you did a great job.
I try. It's one of those things where even though I don't do it often, I try to do it right. But
yeah, but I have actual legitimate conventional musky rods also that have actual bait casters. And I hate letting people use them that don't know how to cast those things.
Yeah. I hated it too. And I knew how to cast them.
The problem I have is the saltwater, the conventional, like I said, it's like a 4-inch diameter spool. Right. So if you get a backlash, it's generally wide open, easy to get undone.
Yeah.
But with like the musky one, it's like, I think there's probably 300 yards of line on there.
It's a lot of line to get tangled.
It is, but it's also like tiny and there's like cross hatches and it's like a real pain in the arse to get backlashes on those.
Yeah, because that one has that worm gear where it moves the line guide back and forth, I believe.
Well, I have those on the conventional saltwater ones too. But yeah, it just has more to do with the free access with the bait casters.
Oh, okay, just the size of it.
Yeah, anyway, because the saltwater ones are basically just wide open because the worm gear's in the front. The problem I have with the musky one is there's the worm gear in the front, and then it's such a tiny spool.
Yeah, okay. I get what you're saying now.
So, yeah, it's just a pain in the butt. And I don't know how we ended up going down this rabbit hole.
I don't know. I started.
It's fish. No, you're fine.
No, because I was already talking about, because the clicker on the saltwater reels.
Yeah.
Yeah, but... I mean, I think they're more there for just like especially for my nephew, like hearing him hearing it go click, click, click. That would indicate to him, oh, I should set the hook, And while we may not need that, I can definitely see how that would be a benefit in a reel to get for somebody just starting out.
So back to what I was saying about the conventional reels. With the conventional reels, the clicker actually applies like I won't call it drag, but it applies a certain amount of force because it's kind of like if you hold your rod straight up and down, if you're catfishing, you got your bait, even with just your bait, and you like let go of your thumb, and when it's on free spool, the bait's just going to fall straight to the ground. When you put the clicker on, it offers a certain limited amount of resistance that the bait won't fall to the ground. Now, clearly, when you add the 4-ounce or 8-ounce egg weight on top of it, then it will, but more slowly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's basically my understanding is it's designed as a audible indicator, especially when you're fishing with circle hooks, that basically when you hear it start to click, 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 it means something picked up your bait and ran. But it does provide some resistance in the conventional tackle.
It has to. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a mechanical piece hitting another mechanical piece. So
yeah, well, but that's what I'm kind of wondering. Like we were discussing, does that actually apply as well to the fly reels?
I don't know. I think to some extent it has to. I think that would only, I don't think it would ever drag a fly out, or I don't think a fly would have enough drag to pull that out.
Right, but I'm just, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah, research to be done.
Absolutely. Did you see? Well, you sent it to me, and I'm a little pissed about it.
Oh yeah,
those
fucking Dutchies.
There was 2 Amish guys that had caught it
had to be 50-inch plus. Fucking schmellies.
Just massive muskie and just dragging it out over the shoulder, going to eat it.
Hanging it over his shoulder, walking up a hill. You could tell they were fishing for that because they're carrying roughly muskie-sized net.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went after it specifically.
And they're dragging it up. Guy's literally fingers in his, gill plate, carrying it up, slung over his shoulder, and it's like, what the fuck, dude? Come on, put that back.
Do you know where that was at? I didn't.
It was somewhere in Pennsylvania is the only information I got. I couldn't recognize the topography when I looked at it.
Well, that's one of those things. I don't know how. I never kept a muskie, so I don't know what the legal limit lengthwise
40
is.
inch is the legal limit for muskie.
40?
40. It was well over that.
Oh, yeah. But
that was probably a 52, 54, I'd guess. That was a big.
You were pretty close.
It was almost as long or as tall as that guy, or it was almost as long as that guy was tall.
Oh yeah, it was massive. I'll show you when we take a break.
Okay,
'cause that's,
yeah, I'd like to see that. I wouldn't like to see that actually, but
Well, it's just kind of. I hate the Amish.
well, you shouldn't
It's another
be that
reason.
vocal.
well, I mean,
They don't have the internet. They're not going to hear me.
They might have friends who have internet.
Well, whatever. You know, like.
I don't hate the Amish. I hate the way they act,
Yeah.
and that's like,
Well, I mean, it's like we were talking about last week that, you know, like you were talking about those guys that fish the same hole, take their limit every day, and are curious why all the freaking
Right.
fish and stuff are gone. And it's like,
you know, I asked the guy, I forgot to mention, I asked the one, you know, well, because they were keeping everything. And I said, well, there are legal limits. And he said, just check your license. And then just kind of looked at me like, what's a license? Where God gives us domain over this land.
nature's bounty.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is,
That's exactly what he told me, nature's
oh,
bounty.
I've heard it before when I
Yeah.
watch them shoot turkeys during deer season or beavers during deer season.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't think there's actually a beaver season to shoot with a gun.
Trapping season. Well, yeah.
yeah, not the gun, though.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think you, well, it's a rodent, so I don't know if you can or not.
I'm pretty sure
It's a
trapping
fur
only.
bearer is how
Yeah,
it's
fur bearer,
classified.
yeah.
Trapping only.
Yeah.
Either way, like, there's a, how do I want to put this?
Well, it cracked me up because Sean was previously discussing how there's potential ecological disaster from all like
Yeah, people not understanding.
the third world coming to America, and basically, you know, like there was a huge deal about the Haitian walking down the street with the dead goose that had killed it in like a park.
Yeah.
And Sean was like, you know, like I don't think people realize the potential ecological disaster. Like these people literally,
That's the way they live. And
right?
Yeah.
And that was his point. And
Yeah.
he's like, I don't think America knows what's coming. I'm like, well, Pennsylvanians do because we have this thing called the Amish.
Yeah.
And
We've been dealing with this for freaking centuries.
Yeah.
and my biggest problem with it is there's nothing done about it.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
like-
well, there's,
I can't, like, if I were to get caught keeping a fish too small or keeping anything, like breaking the law in any way, I would be held accountable most likely and
Yeah.
charged, pay a fine, whatever. You see it happen all the time repeatedly. I mean, especially now with everything online, like there's videos up every day of them doing this stuff, and it seems like nobody cares except
I agree.
us.
Well, it's one of those things where, as much as I hate law enforcement, it's kind of like we need more law
yeah,
enforcement for
that's
this
what
stuff.
I agree.
But the thing, and like I said, as much as I hate it, but it's also like, yeah, okay, we might actually kind of need it because, you know, like there's people abusing stuff all the time, and
I think the outdoors is really shortchanged in that respect.
I completely agree. I would rather take all kinds of. Hold on, we're getting some kind of weird feedback.
I thought it was my watch, which would be a first, but
I didn't hear it.
I don't know. I just heard it's gone now though. Oh,
Yeah.
listeners, let us know if you can hear that.
no,
Either way.
you definitely can because I could hear it.
Either way, like I would much rather them take police officers out of neighborhoods that just don't need 30 of them
Yeah.
and put them somewhere where it's like, oh, hey, this used to be a wild trout stream, but now it's demolished because it's in the middle of nowhere and nobody ever comes out here.
Well,
That and I
during
mean,
the natural gas boom, if you want to call it that, there were thousands of trout streams damaged.
oh yeah,
And the people were talking to the Game Commission, Fish Commission, DEP, everybody. And I know of two that I saw on my sales journeys. I would take shortcuts through the mountains, and
it's a great way to do it.
yeah, and gee whiz, it was sad to see.
Yeah.
I saw one place, there was a pond on a hunting camp's property, and there were two trucks pumping water out of that pond to go up to. Well, I went up, turn around, and come back, and those guys come flying out of there. So you know that they knew that it was illegal to be there,
Right.
But they did it, and I called the state police,
Good.
Well, I mean,
and I waited about 20 minutes. Nobody showed up, and I mean,
Yeah, what
I've
can they
got
do?
a job to do too, so
Yeah.
I have to go work.
well, I mean that's what scares me about the AI in how much water they want to pull from waterways.
Oh yeah,
Because like what they're going to need to cool AI data centers is like an absurd amount of water, and it's kind of like I feel like
well, I've been reading a little bit about it, and they claim that they're going to use it and then let it cool to put it back. But I can't imagine that happening. Just like the meat thing up in Clinton County on Fishing Creek.
Yeah.
They're going to use 8 million gallons of water a day. Well, when natural gas was there, they were using 5 million gallons a day.
Right.
And the behind camp was actually low one year when I was up there. It was really low. I've never seen it that low since. And that's what Mr. Bowman said. He said, well, the creek's so low, I can't believe it. And it took a federal guy who comes up every year and checks the flow, the turbidity, and all that stuff. And he'd come up, and he was the one who said, too much water coming out of here. And that's when they shut it down. And then you go down there now, that's all gone. All that pump station at the golf course was allowing, that's all gone now. All the infrastructure's gone. And, I don't know what it's going to take for that to end, but, we use so much water nowadays.
Right.
Well,
And
what kind of puzzles me with AI is we have so much cooling technology available to us. Like, why can't we figure out a better system than pulling water from... That seems like an AI. You have to put the camera on him because he's making a hand gesture.
it's the money.
That's what I'm saying, but that seems like an AI problem. So the simple solution is no, you can't take the river water. Figure it out yourself.
Yeah. Well,
you guys are getting billions of dollars in investment. Put it to figuring out cooling.
I had a guy tell me way back again in the natural gas boom that these short tanker trucks that they were pumping water out cost them between 25 and 50 cents a truckload. Because the state said, hey, we want this gas industry. We want to make Pennsylvania the Texas of the East.
Well, so I will say with the natural gas industry and the fracking, that's not quite the same situation as AI.
Millions of gallons.
Well, no, I'm not arguing the water uses. I'm just saying I'd rather inject water back into the earth than random freaking refrigerant is all I'm saying. So they're not the same application.
Fracking water is some of the most polluted water in the world.
I understand that because they mix it with some of the chemicals.
Sure.
But, I mean, that's entirely different than running our streams, millions of gallons from our streams through a freaking cooling system and dumping it back in the river.
Well, absolutely.
There's substantial data to support that it's almost as toxic coming out of the data center cooling systems.
No, I understand it's almost as toxic. My point is
at least the water's coming back in.
Well, my point is like unlike fracking where we're injecting fluid into the ground to cause it. Like I'd rather be injecting, you hope that there's way more water going in than whatever. I know they're supposed to reclaim all the fluid, but what I'm saying is with a data center, you could have a self-contained cooling system. Instead of pulling water from the river, just have a self-contained cooling system.
I get your point now.
That's why I'm saying they're not quite the same. Because if you're injecting something into the earth, I'd rather it be water than refrigerant or something.
Yeah, it makes sense what you're saying now. Now that we're on the same page. I mean, at the end of the day, it's money.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's what I'm saying though is, I don't think I'm all in favor of AI. I just don't think it's the electrical user's responsibility to foot the bill for AI electric. I don't think it's the Pennsylvania citizen to have to bear the brunt of them stealing our water.
Yep. I agree with that.
You need to cool your crap. That's your problem. I have to cool my house.
Yeah.
I pay extra in electric for air conditioning.
Yeah.
Figure out your cooling, man.
Well, that and if there was one piece of legislation that I would highly support getting passed, I know they've tried it in the past, especially with natural gas, you have a ethical responsibility to return the land in the same or better condition than you found it.
Yeah.
And while that's been said by whatever company that's drilling or doing whatever, making money, and I get it, it needs to happen. They're making enough that, hey, you should have to go back through and clean up or, preserve.
And if you're not making enough, then you shouldn't be doing it.
Exactly.
That's been I've been reading a lot. I'm really much opposed to natural gas in our forest.
Yeah.
And that was Rendell's fault, not Rendell, Corbett's fault.
Oh.
He opened the door for the state forest. Go in there and do what you want.
Which is terrible.
Like I said, I think it depends on what they're doing more so than the actual act of doing it.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going through and logging, it's probably a good idea to cycle through trees so we don't get weird blights coming
or
through.
forest fires and whatnot, because it's literally why California burns, is because they have no forestry industry whatsoever anymore.
Yeah, because it's all shut down.
But state forest, national forest there. That's a big problem.
But they they don't manage it at all.
But it's not California's to manage.
Yes.
They're national forests.
Only some of it.
Some of it, yeah.
We also have national forests in Pennsylvania, and they allow logging, so it seems like more of a California problem.
You're not wrong.
I know. But what I'm saying is like an old school pump jack, seems, like I don't mind walking through the woods and seeing a random holding tank and a pump jack out in the middle of the Allegheny National Forest. That doesn't actually bother me.
Well, especially when they actually maintain the equipment.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, there's a story on the internet today that one of the natural gas companies has leases up in Tioga and Lycoming County.
Okay.
And they presented a proposal. They want to go into this land because it's open land. It's in a state forest. They wanted to build a 4-mile road through the state forest into the heart of Ty Doughton Forest, I believe it was.
Okay. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep. And what they wanted to do was make a storage facility for equipment. And they have a couple...
That I have an issue with. The road, I don't.
The road, the problem with the road was it crossed 20 trout streams, half of which were Class A.
Yeah.
And they were going to need 100-foot bridges.
Jeez.
And there were some 40, 50-foot bridges, but there were 100-foot bridges over these trout streams. And their first proposal was no bridges, just drive through the creeks back to where they needed to go. Well, that didn't pass. So they put these bridges in there, but swamplands and things like that, there was no protection for.
Right.
They didn't, and they wanted to actually move a few streams, the bigger streams, dig a new stream bed and then reroute the stream through the new stream bed so they wouldn't have to build bridges, because it was cheaper to dig a new stream bed and reroute the stream through there than it was to build some of these bridges.
Well, see, my point is if you can't afford to pay for the bridges, then don't do the thing.
That's the problem.
Right.
And I sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
But I have been doing a lot of studying on Pennsylvania, because they were supposed to be 80,000 wells drilled by now in Pennsylvania. They're nowhere near that.
No.
One of the reasons is because, A, fracking in Pennsylvania is a damned expensive endeavor.
Oh, yeah.
And they have not been able to get the amount of money that they thought they were going to get.
Yeah, there's a lot of rock here.
Yeah. Well, I talked to some guys, this was years ago. I was eating breakfast at the fire hall, and I had a pancake breakfast, and I come out, and there were 3 guys sitting on my Highlander in the hood. And I come walking out, and I realized it was me, and they all jumped off. And they said, "Oh, sorry, man." And then I said, "Are you guys gas drillers?" And they just looked at me like, "How the hell did you know?" But I knew, just looking at them, they were gas drillers. And all 3 of them said, well, half their crew had already gone back. They were from Iowa.
Yeah.
And half the crew had gone home already, and these guys were saying, it is so hard to drill here. He says, where drill's at right now, he says, they cut half the mountain out to make a drill pad. And the guy said, you have to drive up these, and it was March. Mm-hmm. And the guy said, and they were drilling up in Young Woman's Creek on the left-hand branch.
Yeah.
And guy was saying, they drug half the mountain out, and they just bulldozed it down over the hill down near the creek.
Right.
Got rid of that. And then he says, now we got to drive these forest roads, which nobody plows.
No.
So they've got to drive the forest roads up there. He says, it's so hard here to drill. And they were all going home, too. He said, well, the hell with it. He says,
welcome to Appalachia.
Yeah.
Making money.
And that's what they said. They said some wells, they do fantastic because they're out in a flat spot on a farm or something.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it just has more to do with, like people tend to forget that, oh, Pennsylvania, look at our hills. Those aren't actually hills. Those are ancient mountains.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're literally older than trees.
Yeah.
Yeah. They are old. In fact, there's a scientific theory basically saying that our Appalachian mountains and the Catskills and everything are actually formed in Pangea.
Yeah.
And actually run continuously through America and then like up into Scotland and stuff back when we were Pangea, and Greenland and Iceland and whatnot back when we were Pangea. Like what we call hills are basically highly eroded mountains.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which means there are a lot of rock there.
Yep.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because like what he was saying with them wanting to reroute streams or like cut out all hillsides, like we're going to ruin billions of years of the earth existing as it normally does to
For the almighty dog.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
to
like-
store things or to like get a couple of cubic feet of gas out of there.
So like,
come on.
I have a problem with storing of equipment up in the up in state forest. I have a problem with storing of equipment. I don't necessarily have a problem with the roadway, but you want to build a road there. You're not moving streams.
Well,
build
and that's
bridges.
it's exactly what the board said. The DERs or DEP said, you know, if you're not going to do this stuff, then you can't do it.
Yeah, and I
Which
agree
is
with
the
that.
right answer. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, I'm glad to see there's at least somebody there that is making sense. Like, no, you can pay to do it the right way, or you can't do it at all.
Yeah.
Which,
Well, I in my eyes, there is no right way. If you're going through streams and things like that,
right?
no, that's not the right way. That's public land
Yeah.
that you're up there doing.
Yeah, says the child of the generation that poisoned everything.
Well, I don't take any credit in that. I wasn't a scientist or anything, so
Well, no,
I don't take any credit for that.
I completely like.
Just saying that y'all dug a lot of coal mines that poisoned a
Oh, that
lot
was
of stuff.
before my time.
I know. I said the son of the generation.
Yeah.
Well, like to your point, like it's public land. Like, I don't believe a private company has a right to make a profit off of public land. And if it goes back to the community somehow, like they'll say they do, I doubt it. They might, but either way, like if it's public, why does one company get to ruin all of this for a couple bucks or whatever? Like, and I'm all for capitalism, I'm all for people making money, but like I said before, like if you're going to use a public space, you have a moral obligation to return it to or restore it better.
Personally, in my opinion, I think the greatest solution for most problems is for America to revise tort law. And by revised tort law, I mean essentially like, oh, cool, we'll make up XYZ, oil goes in here, trashes the place, and then you sue XYZ goes bankrupt.
Yeah.
And what I say by revised tort law is I think that the board and everybody should be held personally liable. And I feel the same way about the government, too. So, for instance, the city of Pittsburgh continues to try and pass gun bans, even though their solicitor continually tells them, no, you can't do that. It's unconstitutional.
Yeah.
But the taxpayers, therefore, have to fund the defense for the city of Pittsburgh to challenge the Constitution. And I kind of feel like when your solicitor tells you, like, nah, man, that's unconstitutional, you can't do that, I kind of feel like the city commissioners, mayor, et cetera, should be held personally liable for the legal fees. Because your solicitor who gives you legal advice tells you, nope, can't do that, and then you go do it anyway. I don't think that's a taxpayer's responsibility to defend your stupid law.
Yeah.
You should be personally liable because the solicitor said, no, that's unconstitutional.
Yeah. It all ends back to, like, I've said it before, I'll say it 100 more times. Like there's no accountability for stupidity anymore.
Right. Because it's
it
basically
applies to literally everything nowadays.
Well, because everything stops at the corporation line or the, oh, we have government immunity line or whatever. Like, no, it's like, you were the guy in charge. You should be held personally liable.
Yep.
Yeah, especially like first mistakes free.
Well,
But
I mean,
like you're saying down in Pittsburgh, like if the guy's repeatedly saying
they do it every
this
like
is-
2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see it all the time. But like you said, it's a repeated thing. Clearly, this is not working. Now it's a passion project for you. You foot the bill.
We'll change 3 words and repass the law, and then it'll get challenged again, and then we'll be defeated. But meanwhile, we spent $60,000 in legal fees.
At least.
At least. And it's like, and then you lose. And then in 2 years, we'll try again and spend another however much. And it's like, at a certain point, it should no longer be, it should start becoming like you are personally responsible for doing this because the taxpayers are tired of paying hundreds of thousands of dollars every year to defend your stupid unconstitutional law.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if a doctor messed up the same surgery 4 times, they'd sue him for malpractice.
Absolutely. That's why, like I said, I think a lot of our problems would be resolved via tort law. Granted, it will be a very litigious decade when that happens, but I think after that, we'll kind of get things squared away. Anyway, we definitely need to take a break.
Yeah,
We've been at this for a while.
No, it's
a political portion. Sorry about that.
We haven't even talked. Well, I mean, I don't even think it was that political. It was just environmental and stupid people and how to solve these problems caused by companies and governments.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should probably take a break because we've barely talked about fly fishing. In fact, I don't think we talked about fly fishing for the past 20 minutes. So
I don't know. We're solving the world's problems right now, and that's what we do.
Well,
here
we're doing
at
our
Dangerous
best,
Fly
but
Fishing.
we need a higher listenership and viewership before we actually have power and a platform.
I got power. And welcome back to Dangerous Fly Fishing, episode 80. I am getting much better at pressing the correct buttons, so I just wanted to throw that out there. Very proud of myself.
Golf clap.
Man clapping over there is Matt Carney. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm hoping we sorted out the feedback, but we shall see.
We shall see. I'm also here with Jim Carney, who is looking very thoroughly at our show notes that we actually would to talk about fly fishing.
The political arena has closed, so we'll open the fly fishing discussion now.
I'm excited for it, even though, like I said, we're solving all the world's problems. But now we're going to solve problems about what flies are coming off. So. What you got on the docket there, Mr. Matt?
Well, I think we should throw this one to Mr. Jim because he's the one that gave me the hatch report of the Central PA streams are having sulfurs come off.
Yes, they're quite scattered, though. In fact, Kettle Creek, which has been one of my longtime favorites, has had a rough spring as far as hatches go.
Yeah.
The water's cold, although it was 54 degrees this morning.
Well, it's been a pretty shoddy spring thus far for fishing, period. That's the one low note of me being injured is I'm not actually missing that much fishing because most of the streams, it's rained, seems like almost every day.
Well, we were up 3 weekends in a row and it rained, and that was pretty tough. But I guess that the hatches are hit and miss. There was one report on Penns Creek today. There was like 6 flies hatching.
That's it. Middle of May.
No, 6 types of flies. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Not 6 individual, but 6 types of flies were coming off.
Now we're here.
And but at the same time, they did not see any flies hatching on a certain section of Pine Creek in the stretch. Guys fished all days, never witnessed a fly come off.
Yeah,
that for this time of year, that's pretty bad. The small streams, I guess, are even worse because they're still probably pretty cold.
Well, we haven't had a very warm spring compared to years past, plus with all the rain adding cold water to the watershed. It's not technically unexpected.
Yeah.
Hence why you usually get the range of when hatches happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And even when I was out, take my nephew out and around, there was fish jumping and stuff, but I'm sitting there trying to figure out what's actually hatching, and I just didn't see a damn thing.
Yeah.
And it's so strange for me because normally, I'll see, I'll dip my hand in the water, whatever. Watch a emerger bounce off or nip, but I'm sitting there and he's asking me, he's like, "Oh, what are they jumping for? What are they jumping for?"
Yeah.
I felt like a jerk. 'Cause I'm like, I have no idea.
Therein lies the mystery, dear Bentley.
Yeah. He took his first spill in the creek, by the way.
It was
got
coming.
that out of the way.
Yeah.
Many more to come. Many more to come.
I actually took him up behind the fly shop because we hit the German club again, and then
You mean the ethnic club?
yeah, either way. Unless you're from around here, you have no idea where it's at. Hell, half the people nowadays have no idea what I'm talking about when I say it. But no, we went up behind the fly shop because I was like, you know what? Let's get you out into some bigger water. He has graduated to using my 5-weight pretty proficiently already, at least with a roll cast. It's, with him being short, I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit of time before he gets a good falls cast in. But no, we took him up there, and he was being a trooper. I could tell he was getting tired, but there's fish jumping. I'm throwing him out there a little bit, handing him back to him, telling him, okay, cast here, and just can't hook up. And I was like, all right, no luck today. Let's head home. And he turns around to walk out, and he's doing great. And I'm just getting ready to reach down and grab his waders, helping hand, make sure. And this rock just comes up out of nowhere and grabs his foot. And
I hate when rocks do that, when they ambush you like that.
Yeah, I swear to God they're alive. But it was pretty funny because he couldn't have been in the water more than half a second because I was already reaching down. just reach down, grab him by the back of the waders, and he got a little wet, but he turns around and looks up at me. He's like, how did you get me so fast? And I was like, well, I had a feeling this was coming, buddy. But no, it's out of the way. He was a trooper about it. He was laughing on the whole truck ride home. Like, I didn't realize how much water could get in your waders that quickly.
Yeah, that's why you wear a wading belt for safety reasons.
I have never worn a wading belt, but I'm going to don one. I was kind of looking for it tonight over there because I have 2 or 3 because they send one with every pair of waders you ever buy. And I haven't bought a lot over the last 10 years, but I know I bought 2 or 3 pair anyway.
Yeah. Well, that is one thing. Getting off on the track already.
Yeah.
It's my fault this time, but I will say if you want to add a aftermarket component to your equipment, I bought one of the wading belts from Opros, and it's a much thicker, heavier duty belt that, while a normal wading belt I'm sure would do the trick, I noticed a legitimate difference with
because I want to add my wading staff to that belt.
Yeah, that's where I noticed the biggest difference is like I could actually put stuff on that belt.
Okay, without it rolling over.
Yeah.
Well, the double-edged sword with that is because I used the one that came with my Orvis Pro waders, and it's 2-inch thick nylon belt.
Yeah.
But the buckles on it are so big I can't fit pliers or anything over it.
Slide it.
Right.
Over.
I'm sure my wading belt or my wading staff probably will because it's made by Orvis. You would hope they design their wading belt loop big
cohesively.
enough. Yeah, you think they would make it work. They try to make everything else work, so you think they'd make it work.
I'd hope.
Haven't tried yet.
Well, I'm going to find out because if I'm going to go fishing this year, I'm not leaving the house without my wading staff. I know that.
Yeah, well,
Good idea.
I learned the lesson about the wading belt when I was young, so because I fell between glacial rocks on a creek, and the only thing that kept me from going down, 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 as Johnny Cash sings, is basically I kind of said, "Oh shit," and did one of these and caught myself on the top of the 2 rocks, and then had to do a tricep dip to get up out of the creek. But my stuff was fully flooded, and I'd have been going down.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I did not touch bottom.
You don't want to touch bottom in these deep holes.
Oof.
I'm aware it was an involuntary effort.
Yeah, because the mud can be quite deep at the bottom of these deep pools.
Well, you're not
and
kidding.
you might get stuck in the mud.
Well, I was more concerned about my ability to come back up, even with the waders full of water before even hitting the mud. Because, like I said, I didn't even touch the mud at the bottom. I didn't touch anything solid, and I was to my shoulders, and basically only my head was sticking out of the water.
Well, to get farther off the track, I never told anybody. You know, the big pool on Fishing Creek, way up about half a mile, maybe a mile from camp.
Yeah.
It's behind the horse farm up there.
After the bridge.
Oh, yeah, way up after the bridge.
Yeah, that next section. Yeah.
I actually was pretty stupidly was up there, and the fish were feeding across the creek, and it was this nice piece of dirt. And I thought, boy, I'll jump down on that and cast across the creek. Well, I jumped down there to find out that there was a dead tree underwater, had collected a bunch of leaves, and there was plastic and stuff in there, and the gravel had washed over it, but there was nothing solid about it. I went, boom, right down through it.
Quicksand.
Into the strainer.
Reaching for my hat up here, I was underwater.
Ooh.
And I was thought about dropping my fly rod because I knew, and I hit the mud, so the water was 8 feet deep at least at that point.
Yeah. And
I hit the mud, and I was done. And I think the good Lord himself saved me that day because I was kicking and flailing. Water was full, waders were full of water. I kicked and found some tree branches, holding my breath, and I was able to shimmy up there till I got my face out of the water. It took me about a half an hour to work my way out of there, smelling methane gas the whole time. Oh my God. And I got out of there, and
yet still doesn't wear a wading belt.
Still don't wear a wading belt.
That might have been what saved you. Water ballooned up, carried you up.
I don't know what saved me.
That's not how water works.
Like I said, I think the good Lord is all that saved me.
Might have been.
Been there.
And there's a funny second half to that story, but I'll not bore you with it anymore. So
I kind of feel like you should because you had a pretty good lead in there. So what's the
Well, the funny part of the story is I was crawled up on the bank, full of water. So I went up there and I laid down and tried to put my legs up, but there was so much water in my boots I couldn't hardly lift my legs. So I took my waders off. And, of course, I had my T-shirt on and long underwear bottoms on because it was May.
Mm-hmm.
So I got up there, and I was just soaking wet, and I thought, damn, do I want to put those waders back on to walk back to the car? I said, nah. So I put them up and hung them up on a tree upside down, and the water was just dripping out of them nonstop. So I'm sitting there, and I'm looking around, and you can see a long way either direction on that pool. So I thought, took my pants off and hung them over a tree branch. And then I took my underwear off and hung that over a tree branch. And I'm looking. Took my T-shirt off and put that over a tree branch.
So you're just bare ass
I was
sitting on the
bare
side of a
naked.
trout stream
Bare
along a road.
Well, the road's quite a ways over there. And by the time I'm naked, nobody could see me anyway.
Well, they may not be able to see you for other reasons too.
Yeah. Well, particularly after being in cold water for half an hour.
I was in the pool.
So I'm sitting there on this. I'll bet it was a half an hour I'm sitting there. So finally I get up and I walk over to the tree branch and feel my long underwear bottom, and there's a damn woman standing not 50 feet away. How she got there without me seeing her, I have no freaking clue.
Oh my God.
But I'm just standing there, and I don't know what to do. So finally she kind of turns real slow and then walks partway and then starts back through the woods, which is evidently how she got there.
Yeah.
Not down along the creek, because I would have seen her for sure.
So you were that weird, creepy guy that just.
Well, man, I put my clothes on, got all dressed, and I thought, no, I'm not going to walk back to the car, because if some husband, boyfriend, or state cop's looking for me,
Right.
that's where he'll be at the car. So I got up and fished all the way up past that pond at the park. I walked up Duck Run to the road, and on the road, and two little kids are riding their bikes down the road. And I'm walking, and they go by me, looking at me like really oddly. And I thought, well, what the hell's going on, So
You got to wonder.
I walked on down the road, and a guy come out of the horse barn, and he comes walking up. I think he'd get the mail. And I'm walking by, and he's looking at me. He goes, how's the fishing today? And I says, oh, it wasn't bad. I don't even remember what I answered. But he's giving me the strangest looks, too.
Yeah.
So I'm going, what the heck? So I'm walking down there. I get down to the Highlander. I walk up to open the back gate, and I look at my face in the glass, and I just busted out laughing. It looked like I'd taken mud and smeared it all over my face. And I'm betting this guy's thinking, well, there's a hard-ass fisherman. He camouflages himself before he fishes. And I just had a good laugh about that. I thought, wow.
That's fantastic. Like,
I think the funniest part of that story is you sitting naked next to the stream,
I was up on a bank.
yeah.
which
Up
makes
over
even either way. You're
I mean,
sitting
it was
there
trees
naked.
and brush.
But no, but the interesting thing is like you're wearing long underwear and a t-shirt as if hanging them in the tree for the half hour you're sitting there is
dry
actually
them
going to
out.
make them dry.
It dried
actually
them out.
dried?
Yes, it actually dried them out.
Yeah, a little bit of airflow. I'm just like, you're telling me how that woman like turned so slowly. Like,
Yeah.
that had to be a hell of a like, just stark naked, mud all over the face. Like, she's probably you might have been a Sasquatch sighting.
But I expected some boyfriend or husband to come stomping down here
I
to
think
see.
we may have to go check the PA Sasquatch website to see if there's one. So when about did this happen?
Your mom had just passed away, and it was probably 21.
Oh my God, this was in the past 3 years?
Past 5 years.
Past 5 years. I kind of feel like we may need to stick you in a nursing home because you're like the random old guy that just walks around naked now.
Keep
That's
doing
why I
it.
never told this story to anybody, so the whole world's hearing it for the first time.
I love it.
I'm hearing it for the first time. Like,
Yeah, everybody's hearing it for the first
no
time.
wonder all the neighbors look at us funny now.
Well, nobody saw me except this woman. So
She went and told the town, and the town
Yeah,
told
well.
everyone, and now like there's this weird guy that lives at this camp. That just
well,
like,
they don't know I was at camp, though. I was clear up.
he,
Yeah.
he fishes nude.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Just an urban legend now. Yeah, there's some weird specter walking around with a black face.
Well, you mock, but my friends from high school and I actually had we had an encounter with a naked fisherman, not too dissimilar to that.
Oh, yeah?
We were driving up to the Lube on a Tuesday night for wing night, and we were driving up on, I guess it would 60 prior to it being 376, back when it used to be like, where 18 splits north and then 60 used to keep going. and there's a big pond on the right side as you're going up right past what used to be Forney. I think they're closed now.
I know where the building is, but yeah.
But there's like a big pond, and there was just some random dude just butt-ass naked, literally right next to the road, fishing.
Oh, I know. Your mom saw him too.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Your mom was going to either coming home or going to work.
Yeah.
And she saw the guy there.
Naked Fisherman.
Naked Fisherman, yeah.
That's what my friends and I called him, the Naked Fisherman, because
Yeah.
he literally was butt-ass naked 10 feet off the road fishing that pond or
I
whatever
know
it
that.
was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That like
I'm pretty sure he had mental issues. I never stopped and talked to the guy.
Well,
but
maybe this guy in Fishing Creek had mental issues.
he
as
clearly
well.
does.
I mean, in my own opinion, I'm not going to stop and talk to somebody naked fishing. Like that's one of those.
No, that's a problem for the police.
Well, this lady, she just looked there and she just kind of turned like, "Don't follow me." You know?
So she did the what the
I'm sure she did.
fuck?
At that point, all you got to do is wave.
Like,
What's the
I
weather
just stood
say?
there. I didn't know
sorry,
what to do.
didn't know you were there.
Yeah.
My bad. I'll feel free to put on pants.
So I got dressed in a hurry.
Oh yeah.
And here I am.
Moved upstream.
Here I am winter fishing, feeling awkward, pulling 3 inches through 8 inches of Carhartt.
Right.
My dad's over there just butt naked.
Oh God, that's fantastic.
Well, at least that was fly fishing related.
No, it's
Yeah.
the best. What was hatching that day, Jim?
Was it Light Cahills by chance?
You know what? I believe it was the sulfurs that were coming off because the rise was fantastic. There were fish just going wild, but it was straight up and straight up. And I thought, well, I should cross the creek. But it was the same thing. It was about 15, 20 feet up, and it was woods, and you couldn't have got a cast down there either. And then I saw this island. I thought, oh, there's my answer.
Right.
You know, almost my death is what it almost was.
I kind of feel like the last time you, me, and I think Nick floated Fishing Creek, I feel like that was a strainer that we were very concerned about because that was after the inaugural
Raft trip.
It wasn't the inaugural raft trip because that was you and me.
Yeah.
But literally, I think like 2 weeks after you and I did the inaugural, Ross, Nick, and I floated Fishing Creek. Like we started like way up high.
Yeah,
I think under Interstate 80s where we started.
Oh, yeah.
And we floated down.
You're lucky there was still water there.
Well, there
we
was
found that
water.
There
was
isn't
water.
in the summer now.
Well, it was in the spring.
Yeah.
But yeah, literally within I think like 1 hour of floating, we broke one of the oars.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yep.
And I think we passed where you were the Naked Fisherman.
Yeah.
No, that is exactly.
That's when the storm
strainer.
hit.
Yeah.
It was when the storm hit, and we literally had to use the 2 oars as canoe paddles because the one like broke at because they were like 2-piece oars.
Yeah, it broke at the hinge.
It broke at the middle. So like Ross and I were using the 2 oars as paddles because one was totally screwed. But that was that stretch where we were like thunderstorm came, giant tree limbs were falling into the creek, and we were like swerving around falling tree limbs. And I'm pretty sure that was the strainer that we dodged. I think it's a severe strainer.
Oh,
now.
it is.
No, that is exactly the strain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember it kind of vividly because we were already halfway paddling, trying to get around. Because, you saw it looked like a little bit of a low point.
Yeah.
And you went to push off of the ground to get us out because we couldn't steer too well. And you just went shoom, right down in there.
Yeah, almost lost one of the 2 paddles we had.
Yeah. And your comment was, man, that's a hell of a strainer. Like, oh, God, that's fantastic.
Yeah, shit was piled up there.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And there's gravel on top and grass growing. And I thought, oh, there's an island right there.
Yeah.
Boy, I jumped on it and went right through it.
I think your first problem is you jumped.
Yeah, I jumped. It was high. I probably jumped 6-8 feet off the ground.
It's fantastic. That's commitment right there.
And I,
Full
well,
send.
I could tell there was mud against the bank, and then there was this island. So
For
I
future
jumped
reference,
over.
if you're going to drown fly fishing,
Yeah.
please be clothed.
Well, I was in the water.
I'm just saying.
Well, you know what?
You're now the new Naked Fisherman, so please be clothed if you're going to drown.
well,
because
I was
it's one
afraid-
thing to recover your father's dead body because he drowned doing what he loved. It's another thing to like drag your white, wrinkly, bloated corpse out.
That would be horrible.
I know,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Well, when I jumped in there, I was afraid of plugging in the mud.
Yeah.
And I said, if I plug in this mug, nobody knows where I'm at. They know
Right.
the car's parked up here, but they would figure I drowned, but they wouldn't find a body for God knows how long.
Yeah.
I'd have found you.
Yeah,
With your face frozen 1 feet below the water going,
That's what I'd have looked like, too.
yeah, holding the fly rod. I'd have seen
Yeah.
the fly rod and be like, yep, there he is.
I didn't lose my fly rod or my hat, and I can't believe in that situation, a life and death situation, those are two things I wasn't giving up.
You worried about the important stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't too emergency, because I've had some situations where I could die, but it wasn't too full-blown panic emergency yet, so I held on to the things I didn't want to lose. So I get that.
I was underwater a long time, and I never held my breath any longer. And then when I get up there, the first big was just methane gas and burned my lungs and throat and everything else.
Oh, that's just insult to injury.
Yeah.
Right there.
Oh, man.
It explains the taking off of the clothes, I hope, because he was high.
I mean, it checks out to me.
Yeah, it might have been.
He wasn't thinking straight, so he stripped naked. We're just lucky he wasn't running down the road.
Yeah.
Woodstock on.
Or the fact that the kids saw you, because then you might be on some kind of list.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least he stayed in the woods like a
Yeah.
good cryptid. That's fantastic.
I seriously want to look up the PA Bigfoot thing and see if there's this weird brown creature was sitting naked on the
Just
bank of
my
the creek
face was brown.
that you're aware of. Were you actually paying attention to
Well, I
anything
went home and
else?
took a shower. And
Well, I'm talking about mud gets into clothes and stuff.
Yeah,
and
well,
not to
I
mention,
might have had
Not to
some.
mention you were sitting naked on the side of a stream. So
I
who
was
knows?
sitting on a rock, a heated rock. That was
Were you
good.
doing the thinker?
Yes, I probably was.
How did I make it out of that one?
Yeah.
Should I put pants on? Nah, there's nobody out here. We need to put a monument up there.
Seriously, we should buy a miniature thinker, concrete casting, and just go set on the rock he was sitting on, so everybody can relish in Jim's glory.
We got to put a fishing hat on it. Hey, we're getting that on the raft somehow next time we float. This is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. We're putting a thinker concrete monument where the naked fisherman was naked and creeping out women.
But I couldn't believe it. I see one woman a year fly fishing.
Yeah.
And
That
it
was
had
the
to be
moment.
That time, it was unbelievable.
Because I swear, 99.9% of the time, I'm not naked when I'm fishing.
Right.
That we're aware of.
Can you imagine trying to explain that and you get arrested somehow?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I expected. A cop to be waiting at my truck when I got back there. That's what I expected.
In fairness, I kind of think there is a legal argument to, I fell in the creek and got soaking wet. I don't want to freeze to death. So,
Right.
But
So I sat naked for a half an hour.
Yeah, but
let my clothes dry. I don't believe your clothes were dry, so therefore I don't
dried.
believe your
I won't
strategy.
say they were bone dry, but they sure weren't anywhere near as wet as what I was wearing.
I mean, based
yeah.
on my experiences, it takes 45 minutes for clothes to dry in a dryer, and that includes both airflow and high temperature.
Yeah, no, they dried out. I mean, they were damp.
I mean, that wouldn't even cross my mind to strip naked. I'm pretty much I'm wet, I'm screwed.
Oh, no.
he's going out the way he came in,
Darn right.
naked and unafraid.
Well, you clearly got afraid.
Yeah, I was afraid.
Well, that
the
was
cops
after he
were
started to
coming.
put clothes back on.
And here you weren't going to tell that story. Why?
Oh, 'cause
fantastic.
no one's heard that story till now.
Well,
And
this
sadly, of all the tales I tell, that one is the most truthful.
and funny. I mean, the beautiful thing about having you on the podcast, Dad, is your grandkids are closest ones are an hour away. The other ones are 14 hours away. I mean, the beautiful thing about the podcast is this is a record of your fishing knowledge and experiences for posterity.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we very much appreciated that story because that story is freaking hilarious. And I can't believe you're going to hold back the actual funny bit.
Oh, that's the best part.
I know that, who cares? You fell in the creek. The whole I'm sitting on a bank naked. That's where it's funny.
And the one time in my life I do that, I get caught.
Oh yeah, that's the only time it would ever happen.
Oh, 100%. Because like I said, that never even crosses my mind to strip naked on the side of the bank.
Well,
'cause-
you know what? I figured it's so far out here.
Yeah, I would have made I could see how you came to that conclusion. I'm out in the middle of nowhere. I'm cold. I'm wet. Like
I'm not walking back to the truck like soaking wet and everything.
Yeah.
I'm halfway around my fishing loop, so why not?
yeah, exactly. Take a little break, dry out.
I wanted to fish that big pool up near the pond up there. And I got up there, and that's where the two damn kids were at. And they'd been throwing rocks in that pool that I wanted to fish. So I said, son of a gun.
All for naught. Yeah. At least you sunbathed a little bit.
Yeah, I did get a tan, though. It was a nice, bright, sunny day, too, and that's what kind of ticked me off.
She might have thought that he was an angel.
I guess the real question is, why weren't you wet wading?
It was May, and it was probably 50, 60 degrees, but hell, I wet waded. I was 8 feet or 2 feet underwater.
Well, yeah, he was definitely wet wading.
Well, I mean, that is the one thing I like about wet wading is it kind of eliminates the whole water weighing you down anchor system.
Right. No, you're absolutely right.
One thing about that pool, as I found on the way up, that pool comes down and kind of has an eddy, and that son of a bitch almost sucked me back upstream.
Whew.
And it's a deep, deep pool.
Yeah, we wanted to hit it better when we floated it.
Yeah, but
up
it
there.
goes fast. It's a fast.
Oh yeah,
Goddamn thunderstorm.
Yeah.
Well, that and we didn't even know what we were doing. Like at that point, that was even before like the tornado anchor. So even when we did drop the anchor, that thing was just a sail and we were just cruising.
Oh yeah.
But
Tornado anchor was a game.
That's where that meat place that they built up in Loganton, where they take 8 million gallons of water.
Yeah.
They were trying to buy that horse farm.
Oh, for the horse meat.
For the cows. They were going to bring several 100,000 head of cattle. And they were going to carve, and they actually was in their plans, was going to carve that bank out so the cattle could water themselves.
Oh, God. That's, no.
Yeah. And the township, I'll give them credit for that, the township said no.
I think, and don't quote me on this, I think that's illegal on an agricultural scale. Like I'm pretty sure that there are things in place to where it's like if you plus like it's for runoff, glyphosate, like chemicals, like you can't
unless you're Amish.
Yeah, unless you're Amish. But like I believe it's illegal in PA for a commercial farm to like use a public waterway because I mean
all right, well,
all the
maybe
stuff
I gave the commissioners of the township too much credit.
Maybe. I don't know. I hope they did. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm sure they still said, like, no, you can't do that. But that might have been the reason why.
Yeah, exactly.
The DEP has their fingers in a lot of stuff because I remember doing the one job. We were sucking blown-in insulation out of a house, and somehow we got a hole in the tarp covering the dumpster, so there was, like, brown blown in, essentially paper blowing out, and one of the neighbors called the DEP, and the DEP showed up like within like an hour and was like, hey, you guys got to fix that because you can't do that.
Good.
So DEP not to be messed with.
Yeah.
No, that's ironically out of all the 3-letter agencies, that's the one I worry about the most because they wear camouflaged uniforms. They can come out of nowhere.
Well, they look like park rangers with the like the olive green, like, you know, our former World War I, World War II uniforms.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, but I mean, in my experience, they are basically one of the most responsive. Like if you called them about an environmental thing, they're one of the most responsive agencies. So props to them for that.
Well, I mean, there's good reason for it. I mean, 5 minutes of some kind of disaster, like pouring chemicals into a stream, that'll take hundreds of years to get rid of.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So, and I mean, I'm sure that's one of those instances where the quicker you can get it taken care of, it probably pays dividends.
Absolutely. Speaking of dividends, we should probably give our listeners a return on their investment after this next break.
Yeah.
And actually talk about our topic for tonight since
I apologize.
No,
that was
apologize.
I'd rather have had that than the entire prior force 45 minutes. But anyway, we are going to take another quick break and then
And welcome back to episode 80 of Dangerous Fly Fishing. I'm Ross Lyskoka, sitting here with The Streak.
The Streak.
The old Ray Stevens song. It popped in my head as soon as we were sitting here. Matt, how you doing over there, buddy?
I just don't even know how to react to Your father telling a story about him being like 70 years old, sitting naked on the side of a stream.
I wasn't 70. I was 65.
With
You
happiness.
said it was within the past 5 years.
Yeah, right.
You at best you're
Oh,
69.
no. Yeah.
Do some math, old man.
Well, yeah. I probably
At
was-
best, it's not best.
Doesn't need to do math. He's out there fishing. I would respond to that story with glee. You're out doing what you love.
Yep.
More power to you. Can we put in the Ray Stevens song at some point?
I don't think so because there's like copyright stuff.
copyright
that's going to
stuff,
be problematic.
And I
he's
got more
dead.
stories, guys. I'll be less willing to share them.
Oh no, this one. Oh, I'm going to remember this one for.
I might
ever
not
forget
have
it.
a better one than this one. And like I said, the best thing about that story, it's all true.
Unlike most fishermen tales.
Yes, exactly.
Swear to God that the thing was this big. Oh my God.
Well, it was cold water. What can I say?
You're in the pool. Oh my God. All right. Well, we're going to try to give at least a little bit of fishing education
Well,
here.
we set off with the best of intentions,
Yeah.
moving on to our next two flies in our Eastern Fly Hatches series. And I think we did actually mention the word sulfurs
Yeah, we
earlier before we went off on the Naked Fisherman tangent.
I don't regret it at all. This is.
Oh, no, 100% worth it, totally.
I am extremely happy this occurred, but
Absolutely. I'm sorry Cooper missed it.
Yeah.
that's all right. I hope he's tuning
Here's
in.
Cooper and his family doing, by the way?
I was working last week when they had the kid, and I'm planning on getting over there tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
So I definitely will tell them. You know, you were asking about him and everything.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see the little guy.
As far as babies go, he's a cute little baby. I'm not a big baby guy myself, but he's a cute little baby. They seem to be doing very well. So that's good. He was off all last week.
Right, yeah.
I think he took vacation because I don't know if he gets paternity leave. But
I think it's a law.
Might be.
I don't know, but I think he had to take sick days. I think is what he took.
Yeah, it would make sense.
I don't know.
Either way.
My company has paternity leave, and I kind of did the math where basically if I knock up a woman every 9 months, I could never work again. I just kind of feel like child support would get out of control.
Who do we know just
Yeah.
had a baby and
Cooper.
prior to him.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure somebody did, but
They make them every day.
yeah. But I can't remember, but they were off like months.
Oh yeah, like my company will provide like 3 months paternity leave.
That's about what that was. I can't remember who that was.
Yeah, well that's why I did the math. Like I literally could just start banging out babies and never work.
Oh, there you go.
But I'd also never be able to do anything else again because I would have zero money from all the child support.
Right.
Decisions had to be made, and I love fishing too much to
Yep.
not working again. So
Yeah, I get it. All right. On topic for the last segment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go.
Here we go.
I guess we'll start with sulfurs because that's the one Dad mentioned earlier.
Yes.
For those unaware, sulfurs tend to be a yellowishy color, maybe sometimes bordering into orange mayfly.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So
Both inhabit the same water on many occasions. The stream behind our cabin is one of those such streams.
well, I mean, it's a pretty popular hatch across the state.
Yes, it is.
When sulfurs are coming up, the nymphs tend to associate with gravel and fast to moderately fast water. So they're clinging to them rocks for dear life and I guess eating stuff as it flies by. They typically are brown to olive. So your pheasant tail's going to work. Your hare's ear and natural's probably going to work, or in olive. So those are two good mayfly generic replications, but yeah, brown to olive. I think they also make olive pheasant tails.
Oh, you can get pheasant in any color.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the, flies that they have such a widely diverse replicator pattern that they just throw every color under the sun at it.
Well, I wasn't sure. I know I've seen them in black and brown, but the nymphs are clumsy swimmers.
Okay.
So they're not a very strong swimmer. The one interesting thing in my research for tonight's episode about the nymphs are they apparently make practice runs when they hatch. So they kind of like let go and then say, okay, I understand how it's going to happen. They swim back down.
Oh, wow.
So apparently this is kind of a unique thing to our research thus far in the eastern fly species is the sulfur nymphs make practice runs prior to actually, doing the full send.
They would be pretty exposed to the trout, I would imagine. Then.
Yeah. Like,
So that was one of the other interesting things I found out about researching this fly, is that basically the best way to target a sulfur hatch is fishing a low water emerger pattern.
okay, like a wet fly kind of thing? Or...
Kind of a wet fly or like just below the surface film.
Soft tackles would be good,
Okay.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
Clink hammer dry.
Well,
And I say that as I just bought a dozen of clink hammer dries in sulfur.
I've clink hammer. After you mentioned them a couple episodes ago, I'm very interested in the pattern. It seems I've heard a lot of good things about it. It seems to make sense.
That's a really good pattern for emergers.
Yeah.
And I was on Fishing Creek one day at the bottom of the pool, and I could see the trout coming up, but I couldn't see anything they were taking.
Mm-hmm.
So I started doing some research, and I loved the clink hammer fly the first time I saw it. It's perfect. I mean, the abdomen and the bottom stick below the water, parachute hackle with a post sticking up, and I tied a few, about a half dozen. Went to that same pool later that summer and caught about a dozen fish out of that stretch on the clink hammers.
That's awesome.
It was, and you throw it out there and you see the post, but you don't see anything else. And that's so perfect.
Yeah. And that's kind of like, Matt, I wanted to ask you, because you said like a mid-water emerger pattern, like under the surface film. I know we talk about this a lot, especially with the different patterns going off. Explain kind of where in the water column these flies are when we're talking about like in the surface film, like low emergers, high emergers, stuff like that.
So since these flies do kind of their practice runs, somebody's phone's yelling at them.
That's
but
right.
Since these flies kind of do practice runs and stuff, and they have a tendency to kind of hang up more in the surface film than other mayflies, like you're talking, I would guess like anywhere from halfway up to, a couple inches below the surface is a good spot to fish the emergers and stuff. The one thing is with sulfurs is emergers apparently on average are more successful than the actual dun patterns.
Okay.
The reason being is because what a lot of people assume, trout, quote unquote, rising for what they think is the dun pattern is actually them rising to the emerger in like those top couple inches of water by the surface film.
Okay.
And so, you may be running your dun through and you'll catch a couple, but apparently the most successful way to fish the sulfurs is to basically do that top couple inches of water emerger.
Okay.
Reason being is because sulfurs are apparently one of the quickest drying or to recover blood flow duns there are. So basically when they actually hit the surface, they're not there very long and then they're gone.
Okay.
So what a lot of people assume is trout rising to hit duns is actually them hitting the emergers in the surface film.
Yeah.
And because they're gone so fast, they don't realize that.
Yeah, it's not like the blue wing olives where you see the sailboats sailing down the creek or whatever. It's basically like, boop, I'm out. Okay, let's take off now. So what a lot of the, like I'm sure you've seen like trout take emergers and stuff like just at the water surface but not fully breached, like, like wave offs or that type of situation.
Yeah.
And that's basically, I guess, is one of the most successful ways to fish the sulfur is to hit the emergers, because they basically kind of quasi get stuck, but once they're out, they're out.
They're gone. So just to kind of recap, like it doesn't matter so much on depth of the river. What you're kind of aiming for is less than half the depth to the first 2 or 3 inches right below the water surface.
Yeah, I mean, basically, if you're throwing an emerger that's going to have some depth to it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if you're probably fishing the bottom half, you're going to want to use bottom half. You're going to want to use more of the nymph type thing. And then basically, if you're fishing the top half, you're going to want to probably use more of an emerger pattern, because at that point, the nymph kind of said, cool, we're going now, full send.
We're ready to leave.
He starts cracking out, and basically they ride lower in the surface film in the top couple inches. And then basically when they hit the surface, they're one of the fastest to take to flight mayflies. So like I said, what a lot of people think is, the sulfurs are hatching, I'm just going to float sulfur duns. And sure, that may work, but you're probably going to be more successful fishing the emerger pattern in the surface film or just below the surface film.
And like, now that you bring it up, I can't ever remember seeing sulfurs really on the water.
Oh,
And,
no.
and I had always thought that was just because they're a smaller fly, than some of the other ones we see around here. But now that you bring it up, that they're one of the quickest to actually get off the water.
Yeah, most I've seen have been in the air.
Yeah, I honestly can't tell you a time that I saw sulfur stuck on top of the water.
I won't say seen them stuck on top, but I've seen
Not
sulfur
stuck.
Yeah, it's hanging
floating
out.
down. Yeah,
Yeah, but they're not like the blue wing olive where there's
no.
literally a flotilla of
Usually there's so
sailboats.
many of them
Yeah,
coming off is that you would notice them more in the air than on the water.
right.
But I've caught fish on sulfur duns.
Well, I'm not saying
Yeah.
you can't. I'm just saying
Well, this is interesting to me that they get off the water fast, certainly.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Like I've been fishing, and like most of the time, I primarily see sulfurs in the air.
Yeah.
I don't see I don't see the flotillas like you do with like blue wing olives, where they.
I will say that you see a lot of flies, but you don't see a lot in the water at any one time. And
Yeah.
that's why, and that's new to me. But I generally only throw a fly maybe a foot above a rising trout anyway. So
Right. Well, and that's like, especially nowadays with like how good camera quality's gotten,
Oh,
you can
yeah.
actually put things underwater and film and
Yeah.
have it with enough clarity to actually see what minuscule bugs are doing all
Yeah.
the time. Like,
yeah,
it's one thing I've definitely noticed in the past, ever since I started fly fishing, like the amount of information and actual legitimate data has just increased
yeah.
every single year. And I'm happy for it. It's just,
I mean, that's a beautiful thing for the sport. The more we know, the more successful we are,
Yeah.
the more we appreciate what we're doing.
oh, no,
So-
absolutely.
Yeah.
The other interesting thing with the sulfurs, they're bombers.
Okay.
They fly over the water and drop their eggs
Just randomly.
just randomly. I mean, they generally target, same as almost every other mayfly, they target the faster, more moderate water.
Okay.
But they drop their eggs from the air. They're not a dive and swim to the bottom and drop my eggs. They're just a carpet bombing the stream.
Which that's really interesting because you figure if they're taking practice runs to actually emerge,
Hatch, yeah.
you'd think they'd dive back down, but I mean, I guess with them being such a small bug, it's kind of hard for them to get down.
I mean,
they're
they're
not
not that.
good swimmers either. So
Well, I mean,
that's a good point.
they're not that small because they're typically like a size 14 to 16. There's also, I think, another hatch called a little sulfur where you start getting to 16, 18
later on in the year.
later on. Yeah, I mean, actually they kind of overlap. So it might be a stream by stream basis. Like, okay, this one has like the big sulfur.
Okay.
And I'm using big in air quotes. Because, in comparison to other mayflies, it's not actually that big, but between the two sulfurs, it's the big one.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it's a 14 to 16, and then the little sulfurs are usually like 16 to 18, but more towards the 18.
when Jim and I fished Fishing Creek, probably 6-8 years ago now, but we were there and we were fishing 14 sulfurs, and we were getting one here, one there, but for as many bugs that were coming off, we weren't doing very good. And then this elderly gentleman came up, and we were telling him, we're getting one or two here or there. And he says, what size are you using? Mm-hmm. And we said 14s. He says, oh, no, you got to use 18s. And he walked down below us and just started grabbing one right after another.
Yeah.
So we switched to 18s, and God damn,
Yeah.
caught fish. I mean, the guy knew what he was talking about.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
that's part of the reason I'm kind of referring to him as such a smaller fly is because whenever I fish sulfurs, it's probably from him and like just, watching you be successful with them. I've always fished the smallest sulfur pattern I have in my box.
like I said, I think it's the two different species,
It is, yeah.
but same family. But it's kind of stream dependent. Some streams may have the quote unquote little sulfurs. Some streams may have the quote unquote big sulfurs. Because I think you and I fished together on, I want to say it was either Penns Creek or Pine Creek, where we were using the big sulfurs. So I think I actually gave you a couple because you didn't have any big.
No, I definitely didn't. I remember that pretty vividly now that you mention it because like I said, when I opened up my fly box, all my sulfurs were teeny tiny. Yeah.
But that was also where, thankfully I had different colors because the sulfur pattern that I think I had different colors. I think I started off with one color and it ended up being like the different color one, which to us, like it's a huge difference between yellow and orange, but to the trout, it's probably lesser. But yeah, it was like, thankfully I had a broad variety of sulfur options in my box.
Well, I fished when I lived in Pittsburgh when I first got married. I fished Dunbar Creek pretty religiously. It was Slippery Rock was close, but Dunbar had way better hatches.
Okay.
And I was fishing there one day, and the sulfurs were coming off. And I dug in my box and found an olive-bodied sulfur. I had tied it. Why, I don't know, but I had put an olive body on it. I'd never seen an olive-bodied sulfur before. And I did very well that day, like a half a dozen or something down there.
Yeah, read about it in a magazine.
I probably did, and because I was tying up a lot of different flies then, because I was hitting so many different streams.
Yeah.
Because I was hitting the up north streams, and then when I was in Pittsburgh and I couldn't get up north, I'd have to go somewhere. And Slippery Rock Creek is where I learned to fish terrestrials.
It's a good stream to do it on.
Yeah,
because it tends to be a bit of a, I don't know, we'll say a cool water fishery. There's good bass fishing in there.
Yeah, downstream.
Tepid.
But the fly project was only half a mile.
Mm-hmm.
And if you got in the commanding position right above the bridge, there was a nice run there. And
Still is.
Still is, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you get down there, floating an ant through there, I was just killing them. Every time I went there, I just caught so many fish on ants.
I actually haven't fished the Slippery Rock Creek in
A while.
Well, I haven't either. But
I think like years. I think the last.
Not for trout.
Yeah.
I mean, we would fish like bass and stuff, like when we were getting into that, but
Why's the camera on me?
because you were making faces.
You son of a bitch. The faces were supposed to be on camera.
No, I mean, we'd fish it for bass and stuff with it being a little bit warmer water, but like,
Yeah.
it's been a while since we took a designated like trout day on Slippery Rock.
Well, I think literally the last time I did a designated trout day on Slippery Rock was when I was fishing with Mr. Freeze, who you know.
Yeah.
And he was screaming like a little girl on a rock because like a copperhead or something like decided to cross the creek and got caught up in the current or something, and there's a copperhead sitting on the rock with him, like basically just kind of like wrapping itself around the rock, and he's standing in the middle of the rock like, oh my god, there's a snake. So I pulled the jim and walked over and started whacking it with my fly rod.
It's a great technique.
It is. It works.
Like, if there was one person who, like, the snake should be more afraid of us than we are of the snake, like, he's a pretty intimidating guy until he smiles.
Who's that?
Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
You've never met him.
Oh, I've never met him, no.
Yeah.
I know him from work, and Ross knows him from Ross's work.
Yeah.
Oh.
He was coming to my dad's shop all the
Yeah.
time. I won't say his name on here just 'cause,
That's
private,
not
but
his name?
No.
Not accurate.
He kind of looks like Mr. Freeze from Batman.
Okay.
Almost identical. minus the goggles. What's our next fly? At Light Cahill's,
Well, I actually have one more thing about the sulfurs, and you can do the Light Cahill, sir.
No, please share.
My last thing with the sulfurs is spinners typically happen within a day,
Okay.
aka they hatch, did I actually cover when they hatch? I don't actually think I did.
We did, yeah.
No, not really.
Now is the correct
Well,
answer to
I mean,
that.
they hatch now. I mean, they're a early mid-May to basically June fly. That wasn't the when they hatch that I was referring to. They usually hatch mid-afternoon. That was the when they hatch I was referring to.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So basically, the spinners fall within a day. The interesting thing about the sulfurs are since they carpet bomb the creek with their eggs, there's not necessarily a good spinner fishing situation for trout.
Okay.
Because they're spinners, unlike the other flies where they're like laying on the water, dropping their eggs, then they die. Since they carpet bomb, the spinners don't actually end up in the creek.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. So,
Basically, the moral of the story is the two best flies to fish for sulfurs are the nymphs and emerger patterns. Because duns take off pretty quick, ain't going to see them again. And then the spinners may or may not fall in the creek.
yeah, they can fall literally anywhere because they're not really worried about a distinct location. And I love the research because that's kind of counterintuitive to everything I've heard about sulfur hatches and sulfur fishing, or witnessing how people fish sulfurs. Like, I'm going to have to try it out next time.
Yeah, which I found interesting because, like I've had good day sulfur fishing where, I fish a lot of duns. I mean,
I do too, yeah.
I historically don't spend as much time on emerger patterns as I probably should. because everybody, nymphing's kind of like, there's nothing hatching, I'm going to throw a nymph, because nymphs are underwater year round.
Yeah.
And then when a hatch happens, everybody loves the glorious surface take.
Absolutely.
I mean, we love the surface take even fishing for muskie.
Yeah.
So everybody loves the glorious surface take because that is like the absolute epitome of fly fishing.
Yep.
So I have historically not paid as much attention to emergers, and here may explain why, despite my good days fishing sulfur duns, I maybe could have done way better fishing emergers.
Absolutely, yeah.
That is the one thing I really enjoy about doing this podcast is like, even though I know a thing or two about fly fishing, and normally every time we talk about this stuff, I learn something new.
And same with me, and I've been doing it for 50, 60 years.
Well, I mean, like you said, that's what I enjoy about it. I'm not claiming to be an expert by any stretch of the imagination.
Sure. Well, it would be hard to be an expert.
Yeah.
When just with this little research that we do.
Yeah. I mean, in all
And
reality.
there's so much we learn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoy learning about fly fishing. Wow, dude.
Yeah, I do too.
So I also enjoy sharing it with all of you.
Yeah. I find it funny though, because a lot of our, when we talk about stuff, it's all off of personal experience, which I think is
The best
more valuable than, what you read. But like I said, now that people are actually able to like prove, hey, I thought this was happening, but here's the evidence.
Yeah,
like
absolutely. Yeah.
it's just great. I thoroughly enjoy it.
I do too.
Well, I mean, like it's, kind of like when we were discussing why like the flies sit on the water for so long. Like, is it because they're waiting for their wings to dry?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Are they waiting to orient themselves to the new world? Or is it because they're waiting for blood flow to get to their wings?
To strengthen their wings, yeah.
Like historically, we've been waiting for the wings to dry, is
Yeah.
the theory, but then it's like, well, it turns out they might actually be waiting for blood flow. And it's like, it's the interesting thing is essentially fly fishing is science, and science has never settled.
Right.
Yeah, for the most part.
So,
I mean, the things that are settled, they're boring. So
yeah, well, they're called laws.
Yeah. Light Cahills are next, Matt. Take us.
You take us. Why do I got to do all the talking?
I'm working the cameras.
I'm still embarrassed by the naked fisherman over there.
No reason to be embarrassed. That's something to be celebrated.
I'm not embarrassed.
I wouldn't be either.
Clearly. I remember the freaking monkey man trying to kill flies, so we're not going to go into that story today.
That's next week.
Yeah. All right. Light Cahill is another one coming off mid-May to early June. Clearly, these are all regional dependent. Further north you are, the slightly more behind us you are for hatches. But nymphs associate with cobbles, weeds, or wood. So they seem like they like structure. They also like fast to moderately fast water.
Okay.
Also a clumsy swimmer. Kind of wondering, like, should we just call them just like in general, you're a bug in a giant stream. You are probably not going to be a great swimmer unless you're some kind of etched.
What?
I don't know. There's some mayfly. It's apparently a phenomenal Olympic level swimmer. Isonychia. That's it.
Just the slate drake.
Yeah. Hey, we talked about that one.
Yep.
Yeah, we did. So that one's a great swimmer. Apparently every other mayfly sucks at swimming. So for, maybe for the future, we'll just say, man, not great. They're no Isonychia.
I like that. Well,
Okay.
So clumsy swimmers, based on strategy, pretty much your pheasant tail, your hare's ear going to work in, general natural colors.
Yep.
I mean, Light Cahill, they're kind of a light tan fly. So yeah, probably your natural colors. They typically are kind of slightly all over the map. They generally don't rise early morning because it's cold, because who the hell wants to get out of bed?
not me.
But basically the rest of the day from late morning through the night is when they'll hatch. Similar to the sulfurs, the duns take to the air very quickly. So once they hatch, they're not hanging around very long. That being said, they hang around longer and they tend to ride higher in the water column when they are done. So they're kind of going to give you your BWO sailboat.
Okay.
Maybe not the flotilla going downstream.
Yeah, but that real nice wing profile sticking up off the water.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
They're a high floating dry fly. They are also, I don't want to say, they're more of a precision strike instrument when they go to lay their eggs.
Okay.
So they basically take repeated runs, basically hitting the water, dropping eggs, taking off, turn around, come back, hit the water, drop eggs, take off.
So they're looking for a specific spot.
Well, they like
based on-
fast or moderate water. They're also obviously shooting for the cobbles, weeds, and wood and structure that they like as nymphs. So that's where they're trying to drop their future offspring.
Yeah.
But they basically do repeated runs.
That's interesting.
So yeah, unlike the the mayfly that dives and gets eaten on its way down and wipes out an entire generation when the trout wipes out the entire generation. This one kind of like, doesn't take quite the safe route that the sulfurs do with their carpet bombing, just fly over and
Right.
these kind of do okay, we're going to strafe you and then turn around, come back and strafe again.
Well, just on a technique basis, now that, I'll say I know that if you're fishing a Light Cahill and there's some weeds, whatever structure around there, that would probably be a pretty good place to cast a spinner pattern, dun pattern, whatever you want to call it. If it's actually laying the eggs there, would make sense to cast there first instead of just floating it down the middle of the stream.
Yeah.
In my mind.
If you see spinners around, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's never a good idea to fish, or it's never a bad idea to fish where the flies are going to be. So,
Yeah, structure.
it's a good, probably not a bad idea to drop a spinner at the top of a riffle because they like fast to moderately fast water, and let that spinner float down through the riffle and see what happens.
Well, I bring that up because a lot of times I still struggle with identifying the correct dry fly pattern when I'm on a stream, even though I'm not doing it this year.
It probably doesn't help that you're colorblind.
No, not at all. But
also, you were slightly behind the curve in figuring out the caddis to mayfly body shape issue, which I thought we nailed until you showed me a March Brown. You're like, oh, what color caddis is this? That's a mayfly, dude.
it was a caddis.
It was definitely a mayfly.
It was definitely a mayfly. That's for sure.
Well, I'm bringing up the black quill argument again too.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
We have photo evidence of that one. I won't let you slide on that.
No, I've got photo evidence.
What photo
Black
evidence?
quills are size 12 or 14, and that bug we had.
That bug was a freaking 14.
It was an 18 if it was anything.
That was a freaking 14. You're blind, old man. That was a 14.
Nope.
I'm going to measure my fingerprints now so we can get an accurate reading.
Yeah.
But no, the reason I bring it up is when I'm trying to identify, say I was out here and, I can't really tell what this is. Maybe it was a Cahill, and I may have been floating that just randomly in the middle of a big slow pool. This looks perfect for a dry fly. This is where I should throw this. Mm-hmm. Similar color, similar size. And I could have been throwing the entirely wrong fly because it's not looking to lay its eggs in the middle of a giant pool. It's looking for fast water. Yep. And that's,
well, again, unless you see a spinner fall, then I wouldn't cast it on the sides. I'd cast it more where it would be hatching.
Yeah.
And, that would be in the middle of the stream, in the current. But if I saw spinners, then I might certainly attempt throwing in the side of the stream.
Mm-hmm.
And, but again, you said they didn't fall back to, you said they came back.
Cahills fall in the stream.
Yeah. Well, isn't that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. You said they didn't come back. Sulfurs may not necessarily come back to the water for the
right.
spinning.
Okay, I got to.
Cahills generally die in the water.
Yeah.
But to my point.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, no, to my point, I'm saying, if the hatch was coming off and I'm throwing a Cahill through a giant eddy or a big slow pool, that would not be where they would most likely be hatching from. So I should have been targeting.
Wait. You saying a spinner or hatching? Because two different things.
Yeah.
Even as a spinner, they kind of return to the faster water.
They do, but they probably generally hatch not in the faster water because they would get blown down to slower water while they're rising from the bottom.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, for instance, using camp as a scenario, a great place to fish the dun would be in the pool behind camp.
Okay.
A great place to fish the spinner or emerger would be in the rapids into the transition to the pool behind camp. Because the nymphs like the fast to moderate fast water. They're going to let go. The current's going to blow them down, and they're probably going to hatch out in the slower pool down below at camp. So for listeners that have never been to camp, which is basically most of you, there's a rapid directly above camp to the upstream side, and then behind camp there's a ginormous pool with a current seam in the middle.
Yes.
So when fishing the duns, you're probably going to want to fish the duns and even the tail end of the emergers at the start of the pool,
because that's where they actually
would be hatching. Because up above in the rapid, you're talking 6 inches to 2 feet of water, maybe go into 4 as it goes into the channel.
Yeah.
So like that's where so they're going to be flying over that rapid, dropping the eggs.
Yeah.
So that's where the spinners are most likely going to drop. So if you're going to fish spinners, you're going to want to throw them in the mainly probably fish them in the rapids. I mean, I'm not saying you're not going to get them in the pool, because clearly the fish can't eat all the flies going by.
Yeah, but most likely they're going to be in the faster water.
They're going to drop in the faster water.
That makes it's why I asked.
Similarly, the nymphs are going to let go in the faster water and aren't actually going to emerge because the current moves. It's going to blow them down. So the nymphs aren't actually going to fully emerge and become duns until the slower water.
And that makes perfect sense now that you explain it.
Okay.
I'm glad you
clear as mud.
No, a lot clearer than mud, especially when it's not covering somebody's face.
It's the only thing he had on.
But no, like I said, I still struggle with the correct dry fly patterns, and to be honest, it's probably why I'm so in on wet flies and streamers and stuff this year, is because historically I'm just throwing random dry flies out and hoping for the best.
Well, I mean, the beautiful thing about the streamers and mainly the wet flies is, like, when you're in the nymphal stage, like, there's a limited color palette.
Yeah, that makes.
And then basically when you get to the duns, that's where you get the broader color pattern, and then you get into the wing structure. Like, basically anything underwater just needs to look buggy and in the right color and size, and it's going to work.
Yeah.
And then it's when you get into it's on surface, it's actually the actual bug it is. That's when you have to worry about, like, okay, do we have the right wing pattern? Do we have the proper rough tail pattern, color, size, etc.? Like, there's much more complications fishing a dun than there is a nymph or even a wet fly.
Well, most of the time, dry flies or duns, the fish can take a longer look at.
Right.
Yeah, because it's floating on the surface, where as a nymph, it's blowing by in the stream. Mm-hmm. And there was some writer, I don't remember, but I remember that he said that if it's 3/8 of an inch long and brown, it's fish food.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, underwater, it just needs to look buggy.
Yeah.
And natural colors, and there's a fair chance that fish are going to eat it.
Yeah.
When it's, a dun up on the surface, I mean, most of the time you usually fish duns or the dry flies like in slower water. I mean, granted, they work great in fast water. They're a hell of a lot harder to fish there.
Oh, for sure.
Well, the fish just get a quick look in the fast water, and they have to make their mind up now.
Yeah, but when you're fishing that dry fly in the pool, they get a nice long, do I really?
And how many times you fish and a trout comes right up and stops,
get the wave off,
floats down a ways, and then swims back.
Yeah, or I'm going to eat the crap out of it, come up, and then basically what you think is a rise, and I missed it. It's actually their tail saying, nope, screw this crap.
Yeah. Happens a lot to me when I'm fishing dry.
Don't worry, it happens to a lot.
No, it happens to everybody.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, you could literally throw the right fly pattern, but because if you didn't tie it, if you tied it yourself and you tied something slightly wrong that the fish didn't like, or even if, like, you bought it from one of the online companies that, like, it's tied in Kenya, and they have different colored pheasants in Kenya by like 2 degrees of color, and suddenly it's no longer the right color. Yeah. Yeah. Dry flies are harder because fish actually get to look at them.
I've noticed, I bought a lot of flies this spring. I plan on getting out a lot. I'm still not there, but I'm planning on getting out a lot. But I bought some flies from one fly company, size 14. I bought flies size 14 from another company. You put the two side by side, and there's a difference, real difference.
Yeah.
And I'm shocked by that. But I would say the same thing. I look at my flies, and Reg McClellan out of our chapter is a great fly tyer. He's very, very good. His flies are tiny compared to my flies, the same fly.
Right.
Not by design. I mean, his size 14's smaller than my 14.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that even that little bit, the trout might look at that and say, wait a second, that's really too big or something.
That's a 32nd of an inch too
Yeah.
long. I'm not eating it.
Yeah.
That's the peril of fishing dry flies.
Absolutely.
If they get a longer look and they can wave off. Kind of like, a muskie. Like you can have a muskie follow your fly the whole way to the boat and he gets that long 30, 40 feet following it to look at it and say, do I? He didn't. Nah, screw this shit. I'm out.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And
On a side note, Dad, you should be buying more musky flies. And by musky flies, I mean actual musky flies, not the big Y shit.
Don't say that. You'll get sued.
yeah.
By who?
Big Y, you knucklehead.
For what?
You just called their product crap.
I'm entitled to my opinion. I'm pretty sure
Yeah, okay.
their musky flies are not good.
He hasn't had a lot of success with theirs,
Oh, well.
is the way I'll put it. I agree with him, but,
Well,
I didn't say it, so we're all good.
yeah.
Either way, you got anything else to add to today's episode, bud?
I have one thing to add.
Yeah, please.
Uh-oh.
It's not anything. They're marked on here that the fish nymphs with an emerging lift.
Okay.
And there's a technique that's world famous called the Leisingring lift.
Yeah.
And when Jim Leisingring was from Pennsylvania.
Again, Pennsylvania.
Did we
But-
invent fly fishing?
No, it was invented in the Catskills.
Oh my God!
To an extent.
It was not invented in the Catskills.
American fly fishing was.
No, it was not. It was imported over from England when our ancestors came over.
I said
He
the
did say
American
American.
fly fishing was invented or carried over or started in the Americas. And
Started's better than invented because
Well,
invented means we create.
I know, but the chalk streams in England is where the first limestone fly fishing was.
I understand that. I'm just saying
Yes.
we have a lot of historical people in Pennsylvania that are huge. Was my point.
Yeah,
I know we didn't invent it because it
I know we didn't invent it.
came from
but
England.
Yes,
Because if
it's been a lot of places. It was used long before the Catskills.
it's been in England since at least when was Henry VIII, the 1500s, I think.
Lord or Dame somebody
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was around.
tied flies in like the 1500s.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's been since the 1500s at least.
By the way, I'd love to go fish the Test or the Yorkshire or some other English rivers. I think that'd be a hoot.
I'll get a passport and you have a big checkbook.
It ain't big right at the moment. I can't fly. I'd have to take a boat.
that's shit. I'm out. Cruise. I ain't got that much vacation.
I will say, in a way, Pennsylvania kind of indirectly started the modern fly fishing. I've brought it up before on the show. Samuel Philippe was a gunsmith out of the eastern PA region, and he's credited with the first split bamboo fly rod design.
Really?
1840s, I believe,
Oh, wow.
right around there.
Uh-huh.
So, well, we didn't invent the fly rod, or maybe the flies.
They were using cane poles back before then.
Yeah, exactly. But like, he was the first person to split bamboo and to make it a flexible and not easily breakable, as well as actually producible fly rod.
I mean, to be fair, I think Orvis created the first.
Fly reel.
I don't want to say fly reel, but I think the first modern fly reel.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically, America invented modern fly fishing.
You're welcome, Europe. Another good thing we gave you.
Stupid Brits. Are they going to sue me too?
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
I'll get around. I'll have the Met Police on our door
Yeah.
for hate crimes.
That's all
You
right.
hated on England. No, actually, they're totally okay with hating on England as long as I don't hate on anyone else in England.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Walk us out of here, buddy.
All right. So, hey, it's a pleasure having you guys watch and or listen to us. We appreciate you guys very much. Search for us on Instagram at Dangerous Fly Fishing. Search for us on YouTube at Dangerous Fly Fishing. We love hearing from you guys, so be sure to shoot us an email, comments, and or anything you guys want to hear moving forward in the future. Our email address is dangerousflyfishing@gmail.com.
Wonderful. As always, we really appreciate you guys listening. Good luck. Don't suck. Stay dangerous. And keep your clothes on.